Bruno Guimarães currently plays for Newcastle. He could be leaving, though, to Arsenal. Don Hutchinson is a big Newcastle fan. How do you feel about this bid being turned down, Don?
Happy days, and it will not go through at 55 million quid. I mean, they've lowballed Newcastle like you wouldn't believe. And I can't tell you, Dan, how much Newcastle fans adore Bruno Guimarães. They can get on board with selling Anthony Gordon. They can get on board and selling Tonali because he wants to go. But not in a million years is he going to Arsenal for 55 million quid. Well, Elliot Anderson's going for 130 to Man City.
Right.
55 million to Arsenal.
This seems to have made you quite angry.
It's just the biggest low ball ever.
What did you call Bruno Guimarães yesterday?
A talent.
No, what?
No, I retracted that.
What kind of talent
No,
was it?
I retracted it. I said generational and I retracted it.
Oh, I see. You got excited.
I got excited. Dan, they'd rather sell the Time Bridge than sell him.
So Time Bridge is a big bridge in
Absolutely.
Elliot Anderson, 130 million.
It's incredible.
But that's bonkers.
but money's money.
And if they are going to
Newcastle
sell...
had to sell him, by the way, because of PSR for 35 million
Yes.
quid.
Right.
So, but they can get on. Tonali wants to leave.
So who would he replace in that Arsenal starting 11?
I mean, who plays in there? I mean, he gets the team. Zubimendi, yeah. Lewis Skelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he goes there, Dan. I think the Tonali one's interesting because Spurs have come in with 80 last week and Newcastle flat.
Newcastle are just a selling club, aren't they?
That's what we are at the minute. But the Tonali one's interesting because Spurs bid 80 million last week. And then they left it. Newcastle said no, absolutely not, because Elliot Anderson's 130, we need over 100 million quid. Spurs then left it, come back 5 days and went, how about the 80 million quid that they bid 5 days ago? Newcastle went, no, we told you 5 days ago, you're not having him. So the feeling is, my feeling is that Tonali's agents are using Tottenham for the bid. He'll end up going to Arsenal, or he'll end up going to Man City. Not a chance does Bruno go for that fee.
God, I have no idea what's going on.
Was a World Cup.
So than usual. I'm so focused on World Cup.
Basically, sell them all, but not Bruno.
Right, okay. Thank God you're here, Don.
I want to get back on the World Cup thing here.
Ali, leave. That's it.
All right,
Sports
thank you.
Centre at the top of the hour. Be sure to join him for that. We'll be back at 10 o'clock tonight, live on ESPN. Oh, ESPN 2 we are. There you are. 10 p.m.
You really weren't prepared for this.
You need to read the emails.
He needs to have a lie down.
This is incorrect. It's ESPN Plus. I knew I was right. Take that. Fickle had means that it looks like Scotland will not be going through to knockout stages unless a lot of permutations go their way, which look very unlikely indeed.
No, I think they're already out, are they not?
There's some. I don't.
They're gone.
They've dropped down to 9th.
Yes.
Which, unless they can somehow miraculously go up, climb back up. And look, if you'd have said to me, and most people before the tournament, how many points are they going to get?
Yes.
I would have said 3 at best. The Haiti game, which they were considerably lucky to get in the end because Haiti were putting them under pressure. It could easily have been a point or worse. I never felt, even though the Morocco game was close, they were going to be good enough to get anything, but they didn't really lay a glove in Morocco until the last 10, 15 minutes. And the Brazil game was just an unmitigating disaster, particularly the goals they gave away. But the supporters had a great time, and I think the experience for them in the US was how I hoped it would be.
Yeah, and vice versa as well.
And the American public, particularly the New Englanders on the East Coast, really took this Scottish support under the wing and enjoyed them for what they are, which is people who just want to have a good time. And that's not a surprise. So both things are not a surprise. The team, they have some good, and I've heard a lot of people talking about Scotland and say, well, they're better than that. And maybe there is some truth to it. They could be a wee bit better. They have some good players. They don't have enough good players. And when you put the squad together that gels together, it's not a very good team. Some decent individuals, and by the way, the really good individuals didn't play particularly well, particularly Scott McTominay, who scored all these wonderful goals, who won a title in Italy for Napoli, who's the darling of Naples these days, and he barely kicked the ball. So when you look at it, and as I said the other day in the show, they don't deserve to go through, and they haven't gone through. But I'm really pleased the supporters have had a great experience, and the American public have enjoyed having the Scots here.
I'm not sure how much you've kind of picked up on the media here, Don. It's been all over the news.
All over social media.
About how the Scots have very much embraced Boston and
drank them dry.
Yeah, drank them dry, but not in like a hooligan way. Like at Fenway Park, fantastic scenes there.
Filled out the stadium, didn't they?
It's been a fantastic experience.
Well, that's what they are. They love a good time, but they're friendly with it. They create a really good atmosphere. Just on the back of the performances, I'm not stunned that Scotland have gone home. It's the manner. It's the manner of not having a go. There's a reason why we watch Curacao, we watch Cape Verde, we watch
Haiti as well.
Haiti
did great.
We watch minnows play, but you can latch onto them because they came here and they had a go.
Yes.
It's like Scotland, they beat Haiti, and I still can't believe that Steve Clarke thought it was a good idea to go defensive against Morocco and trying to attack Brazil. I mean, why wouldn't you just try and go and attack Morocco off the back of the Haiti win and go, do you know what? We might get beat, but we might draw. And we draw and we go through. But if you're going to go out, if you're Scotland, especially Scotland, go and try and die on your shield.
Right.
It's so disappointing.
Fall on your sword.
Die on your shield, fall on your sword, they're all the same thing. They're both they're both the same thing.
I've done the die on your shield.
You can die on your shield.
Didn't you die in yours when we started this show today?
About an hour ago. About an hour ago, you went.
16 years ago.
It's just the manner, Dan. It is. It's the manner. It's the manner of not having a go and not laying a glove and being fearful after all the hard work of getting to a World Cup, and then you bottle it and you choke. Right. That's the most disappointing thing.
I'll say this, and I mean this, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I think we've been pretty fair in terms of our analysis of how Scotland have performed. There's a few teams, and this is just the way it is, and you can get upset with this or you can agree or disagree, I don't care. There are a few teams that I don't really want to watch, unfortunately, in this World Cup or go any further, and one of them is Scotland. Yeah. Because they're not making it they haven't made it a spectacle for me. They haven't made it exciting for me. Even those smaller teams you mentioned, Cape Verde, Haiti, and there have been others. And I know they're a better side than Scotland, but Ecuador's grit and performance against Germany, to get through, and what was on the line. I don't want to watch teams in the tournament that don't try and entertain me, that don't excite me. And if we're being honest, there's a few teams, and including Scotland in this, that if they did qualify, which they haven't, but if they did, it was only delaying the inevitable of getting a hammering in the next round. So that's kind of where they are, and they have to accept that.
So now you're supporting England, yeah? Neighbours together?
No. France from me still.
Well, I think you still think France is going to win, but you want England to win, surely?
Nope.
Well, why not, Don?
So I'm not English.
Oh, yeah, but we're
Are they playing white?
That is it.
He's at the man.
Thank you very much.
Arsenal make bold move for Bruno Guimarães as £75 million transfer rumours intensify. Arsenal's reported interest in Bruno Guimarães is creating major excitement among supporters, with speculation surrounding a potential £75 million move from Newcastle United. Here's what the transfer could mean for Mikel Arteta's midfield, why the Brazilian remains such an attractive target, and whether a move to the Emirates could realistically happen. Arsenal's search for midfield quality has once again been linked with one of the Premier League's most influential players, as speculation surrounding Bruno Guimarães continues to gather momentum. The Newcastle United captain has long been admired for his technical ability, defensive intelligence and leadership, and reports of a potential £75 million transfer have naturally caught the attention of Arsenal supporters. The possibility of Guimarães joining Arsenal would represent a major statement of intent. Mikel Arteta has built a team capable of competing at the highest level, but the demands of challenging for the Premier League and Champions League require exceptional depth in every position. Adding a player of Guimarães' quality could potentially give Arsenal another dimension in the middle of the pitch. However, while the rumors are exciting, the reality of completing such a transfer would be extremely complicated. Arsenal's interest in midfield reinforcement. Mikel Arteta has consistently placed enormous importance on controlling matches through midfield. Arsenal's success under the Spanish manager has been built around technical quality, tactical discipline and the ability to dominate possession. The club already has several talented midfielders, but the intensity of modern football means that competition and depth are essential. Arsenal need players capable of performing consistently across a long season, particularly when competing in multiple competitions. Bruno Guimarães would fit naturally into that philosophy. The Brazilian midfielder is comfortable receiving the ball under pressure, progressing possession and dictating the tempo of matches. He can operate as a defensive midfielder but also possesses the ability to contribute further forward when required. For Arsenal, that versatility could be extremely valuable. A midfield containing Guimarães alongside players such as Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard would give Arteta tremendous tactical flexibility. Rice could operate in different roles, while Odegaard would continue to influence the attacking side of the game. Guimarães, meanwhile, could provide a combination of aggression, technical quality and control. The £75 million price tag. The reported £75 million figure is one of the biggest talking points surrounding the rumour. Newcastle would understandably be reluctant to lose one of their most important players. Guimarães is not simply another member of their squad, He is a leader, a key midfielder and the club's captain. That means Arsenal would likely face a difficult negotiation if they genuinely decided to pursue the player. A fee in the region of £75 million would represent a significant investment, but Arsenal have demonstrated in recent transfer windows that they are willing to spend heavily on players they believe can transform the squad. The question is whether the club would consider Guimarães worth such an investment. From a football perspective, there is a strong argument that he could be. The Brazilian is entering the prime years of his career and has extensive Premier League experience. Unlike a young prospect who may need time to adapt, Guimarães already understands the demands of English football. That could make him an attractive option for a club aiming to win major trophies immediately. What about the London medical reports? One of the more dramatic elements of the current speculation is talk surrounding a possible London medical. However, it is important to distinguish between genuine transfer developments and rumors circulating online. A medical in London is often interpreted by supporters as evidence that a transfer is close to completion. In reality, players can undergo medical examinations in London for a variety of reasons, and claims of a medical should not automatically be treated as confirmation that a deal has been complete. Unless Arsenal, Newcastle or reliable transfer journalists officially confirm such a development, supporters should remain cautious. That said, the idea of Guimarães undergoing a medical ahead of a move to the Emirates would certainly send shockwaves across the Premier League. It would immediately raise questions about Arsenal's plans for their midfield and whether Arteta is preparing another major challenge for domestic and European honours. Could Bruno Guimarães actually join Arsenal? The biggest question is whether Newcastle would even consider selling their captain to a Premier League rival. That is where the situation becomes particularly interesting. Arsenal and Newcastle are both clubs with ambitions of competing near the top of English football. Newcastle have invested heavily in building a squad capable of challenging for major trophies, while Arsenal have established themselves as one of the strongest teams in the country under Arteta. Selling Guimarães to Arsenal could therefore strengthen a direct competitor. For that reason, Newcastle would likely demand a substantial fee if they were open to negotiations at all. The player's own ambitions would also be crucial. If Guimarães wanted to move to a club competing regularly for the Premier League and Champions League, Arsenal could potentially be an attractive destination. The Emirates would offer him the opportunity to work under Arteta and play alongside some of the best players in Europe. However, Newcastle's ambitions cannot be ignored. Why Arteta would love Guimarães? From a tactical perspective, Guimarães appears almost perfectly suited to Arteta's football. The Arsenal manager demands intelligence from his midfielders. They must understand positioning, press aggressively, protect the defense and remain calm when opponents attempt to disrupt the team's rhythm. Guimarães possesses many of those qualities. His ability to win possession could be particularly valuable in matches where Arsenal need to control the midfield battle. His passing range also allows him to move the ball quickly and efficiently, helping his team transition from defense into attack. Perhaps most importantly, he brings personality. Big matches often require players who are willing to take responsibility, and Guimarães has repeatedly demonstrated that he is comfortable playing under pressure. Adding that mentality to Arsenal's midfield could potentially make the team even stronger. The dream midfield. The possibility of seeing Bruno Guimarães play alongside Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard is one of the most exciting aspects of the rumor. On paper, such a midfield would have almost everything. Rice provides physical power, defensive protection and ball-carrying ability. Odegaard offers creativity, technical brilliance and leadership. Guimarães could bring aggression, composure and control. The combination could give Arteta several different tactical options depending on the opponent. However, fitting three elite midfielders into a starting 11 would also create difficult selection decisions. Arsenal would need to balance their midfield carefully, particularly against teams that defend deep or rely heavily on counter-attacking football. Still, having such options would be a luxury for Arteta. Final verdict. The Bruno Guimarães to Arsenal rumors are undoubtedly exciting, but supporters should wait for reliable confirmation before treating any £75 million transfer claim or reported medical as fact. There is no doubt that Guimarães would be an exceptional addition to Arsenal's squad if a deal could be completed. His technical quality, Premier League experience, leadership and tactical intelligence make him the kind of player who could strengthen an already impressive midfield. The biggest obstacles would be Newcastle's willingness to sell, the financial demands of the transfer and whether Arsenal are prepared to make such a significant investment. For now, the story remains one to watch. If Arsenal were genuinely able to bring Bruno Guimarães to the Emirates, it would be one of the most significant Premier League transfers of the window and a clear indication that Arteta's side are determined to compete for the biggest trophies. The next stage of the rumor will therefore be crucial. If credible reports begin to emerge about direct negotiations between the clubs, the situation could quickly develop into one of the summer's biggest transfer sagas. For Arsenal fans, the dream is clear: Bruno Guimarães wearing the famous red and white, controlling the midfield at the Emirates and helping Arteta's team finally take the next step toward Premier League and European glory.